I'm Scott, I play guitar. I'm James, and I play drums.
And Josh, and I play guitar as well.
Alright. What's the hardest thing about being in a band?
You probably know all about it. You probably. You've been in more bands than him.
Yeah, that is exactly.
Yeah. Motivation.
Not quitting. Yeah, not
Yeah.
quitting. Seems like you do like, I don't know, 70% of being in a band, if you're trying to be serious about it, is you getting pissed on.
Yeah.
Basically, so just continuing, I guess, would be the best answer.
Yeah, it's hard when you bust your ass and play a show and get paid $5 for that night, and you're like, what? So it doesn't feel worth it sometimes, but
Yeah.
other times it gives a fat crowd and it's awesome.
How did you guys get started?
Well, Scott started playing with us because he produced our album Generation Y, and was super cool. And then Josh ended up being injured for a while, and so Scott kind of stepped in. When Josh got better, we all started playing together, and it just added. It made it way, way better. So I think the music's way better now. Me and Josh started playing because I don't know. We had a class together, I guess.
Well, me and Dominic, we had an ASL together, and like one of the projects was you have to sign a song. So we decided to write our own acoustically. We had a guitar class together too, and it just kind of formed over like 2 years of having ASL. I knew the bass player, he knew James, and we kind of just like, you want to try to throw this together, and we saw it work. Playing out in the basement of our bass player's house, man.
We were like 15, 16, and this dude, our bass player, is like 18, and we were like, oh man, this dude's hella old. He's like probably super good at bass. Like I'm going in there. I never played drum set very much before, and I come out, and I guess Dominic was like, I'm so sorry, guys, never again. He's never coming back again.
It was a rough first practice.
It was, it definitely was. But Josh is like, give him one more chance, and then after that second practice, it's been history. We've just created music, and it just counts to us.
He came back with vengeance, man. It was like another shot. Kills, crashes. We're like, all right, he's a drummer, okay. for a second, we didn't know what he was doing.
Pretend my way through the first time.
Killer, man.
And me and James have been friends since we were like 10.
10.
Yeah, and he was drumming anyway, so it just kind of made sense. And you and Steven, our bass player.
Yeah.
You guys
Steven,
are playing
I
together.
met Steven through my older sister. But yeah.
You guys have been playing for a while too, so just kind of
Hang out, just play a
Came
bunch of
together.
Nirvana songs the other night.
yeah. Scott, we played with Scott's band before that too. We were in 13 Cent Bob.
That's where I met these guys. Actually, I met these guys first time at this all ages venue, Pop Culture.
Yeah, sick.
So we played, or they were playing first, so they played, and then when we were setting up or something like that, James comes over to my parents just wanted to check it out. James comes over to my parents' table and was like, you guys look like some morose motherfuckers. Did I really?
Oh man, that is awesome.
My little nephew's there, he's like, what? And all this stuff, and like, anyway, so I never,
So your parents hate me.
so that was my first experience with the Syndicate, yeah.
Sweet.
And, then later down the road, we just, they came and recorded with me and hit it off.
He's got the best sound in town, dude, for sure. And,
Best sound.
I really don't know. Like when I hear a song, it's weird because if I hear the melody in my head, I hear the words that go with that melody at the same time, or like a word that would start the melody and just kind of leads to another sentence or something like that. So that's basically how it works. But
Natural storytelling.
natural stuff.
Alright, tell us about your first show.
Why don't you tell us about your first show, Scott? I'm curious to
My very first show was in high school
Yeah.
at Mountain View here in Vancouver, and it was an Alice in Chains cover. And, I was a singer,
Oh.
and I played the guitar.
That's quality right there.
Yeah. Did you? I ended up rolling. I was like rolling on the floor and shit. So, like,
You got real into it, man. That's spirit.
and then they signed me up for like suicide prevention or something.
First Syndicate show, we played for like a ton of people. There was a ton of fucking people there, and we really didn't know what we were doing. We weren't even like playing reggae. We basically wanted to sound like Nirvana when we first started. And I don't know, Vinny Battassi still swears to God that I humped his face at that show. And I remember I was throwing water on people.
Didn't you go into the crowd in mosh pit?
Oh,
and
I got knocked out.
Oh, it was you that got... Oh, wait, no. You got punched in the face, I'm pretty sure. And then Dave, Steven's dad, our bass player, Steven, he clothesline some kid in the middle of the mosh pit.
Yeah, there was like this giant mosh, and I jumped off the stage. I do that still sometimes, and was singing, and I like turned like at the perfect time, just got knocked down, and like on the floor, we have the song that breaks, and I go slut, so they hit me, and I like fell on the floor, and I was like, slut, and everything. It was like perfect. It was totally alright.
You know it's a good show when Dominic's bleeding from the nose and the mouth.
Yeah, I've been knocked the fuck out at shows before. So
Yeah.
The most bizarre thing that has happened.
Oh, I totally want to hear you. I want to hear what you say because we already did this one.
Yeah.
We did two, but I want to hear yours.
Alright.
So we get to Hemstock. There's like thousands of people everywhere. We're just about to go on like in 2 hours, and so we pull our trailer around, get all the equipment pulled in, and they're like, "Oh, just set up over there." I start setting up my drum set. I'm like super stoked because it's like the big first big festival that we've ever played, and there's 4,000 people in front of the stage. So like I'm setting up my drum set to get everything perfectly set up. Josh is getting all the equipment rolled in. Everybody's on the move. And I see this guy over there, and he's like handing out free bong hits. I've never seen this type of bong before. He's sitting over here lighting this tray with a butane torch, and then he drops a drip of something on it, and it fills up the entire. I was like, oh my god. He's like, do you want to hit this? I was like, fuck yeah, I want to hit that. We're at Hemstock, hell yeah. Right? So he's like, all right. He lights up the tray, drips the hash oil on it, and I take this hit. He's like, hold it in, and I'm like, that worst idea. And as soon as I exhale, every pore in my body is sweating, and I just start coughing. I coughed for 10 minutes straight. I thought I was gonna puke everywhere. It was horrible. I'm like walking around like a zombie. I'm like, and he finds Josh somehow, and he's like, hey man, you want to hit this? And I'm like, I walk by Josh, and I just walking by. I was like, dude, save it for after the show. And I just walk away, and he's like, this motherfucker.
It's just so like, save it for after the show. I'm like, what? Man, I'm gonna hit this. Like,
he's coughing for 10 minutes.
Oh my god, I went to the bathroom because I was like, I think I might throw up. But it's like, oh man. Drink some water, I go like outside, it's just vivid color, and I'm like sweating, and I'm like, wait, what was I doing? I had this whole train of thought. I gotta do this, get this on stage. You know, everything's gotta go in order to make it go the quickest. And I'm just like, where the fuck was I? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
There's my guitar, and there's my amp, and it's like, where are all your fucking cables? You need your strap, you need your power outlet. You need to get this shit going, and I'm just like,
he has it so hard. He has to set up 3 things on stage. I have an entire drum set. Right before I take the hit, they told me to break down my drum set. So I broke it entirely down, put it all back in the case. They're like, you can use the one on stage. So I'm like, that's cool. The other band gets off stage. I go up there to like set myself, get everything adjusted. And there's, mind you, 4,000 people out in the crowd, and we're like sitting in front of them setting up, and I'm just like, what the hell do they got me playing on? It was like a vintage Ludwig set mixed with a Tama, mixed with a Pearl. Everything's cattywampus backwards. Toms are on backwards. The hi-hat stand, like I do a lot of hi-hat like that, and the hi-hat stand doesn't even move at all. It's like open. I was like, how am I? I'm gonna sit here and play a shitty show for 4,000 people, or I'm gonna run off stage, get my drum set up in 5 minutes, and just rush it. And so, mind you, I am high. I'm sitting there trying to set up my drum set. I'm just like, ugh, going like 2 miles an hour, setting up all my stuff. They're like, you gotta go on. You got 5 minutes, man. And I'm like, set everything, and everything's all cattywampus, but. So I'm like breaking my back trying to set up, and finally I get everything set up, and I'm so tired from like rushing to get this thing set up that I forgot all of my drum parts. And everybody had fun though. That's all that matters.
It sounds stranger than it is, but if you took that bong rip, man. I didn't forget my parts, but I almost forgot when to change.
Everybody, I thought it went horribly. Like I got off stage and I fainted at the trailer. Like I was so high. But everybody's like, fucking A, man, that was the best show ever. I mean, everybody was in the crowd. All of our friends, if you look in the picture, like all of our massive 150 group of friends were sitting there just gigging hard. And I was just like, man, I'm so sorry about the show. They're like, that was the best show ever. So they're all high out of their mind.
Yeah, they must have hit the ball.
That's all the comment.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Man, I was so high at Hemstock, you guys rocked. And I was like, okay. It's like, I was so high too.
So that was like one thing that was like put things into perspective for us, you know. Ever since then, I don't drink before shows. I don't smoke before shows. Oh, I take that back. I don't drink before shows anymore. I just got to be in the right right mind state and be
right.
professional, because we are providing something for someone else. People are coming in to listen to our music. They're paying to listen to us, so
Exactly.
we got to be at the top of our game. So that,
Absolutely.
at least we got that out of the way the first time.
The weirdest thing, I would say the Stevenson incident was
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
one time we were
Gunner.
in Stevenson playing a show, and it was like their festival there, which doesn't mean much because there's like 35 people that live in Stevenson.
The whole town was
The whole town. Yeah, everybody came out, and I was drinking like moonshine. I'd never drank moonshine, so I ended up like getting naked on stage and like standing on the PA speakers, hanging from the rafters, trying to tip them over.
Sure.
So and pantless.
Did you mention it was a houseboat too?
It was a houseboat.
It was a
so
boat
they lived on land,
docked in the forest.
but it was cheaper for them to have a boat as their house. So it was docked, like it was never going to move, but they lived in a boat. So it was called the houseboat. So that was weird.
They're like, you
So-
gotta play a show on our houseboat, dude. So we're like, oh, of course. You
Yeah.
got moonshine too? Oh, we're down.
And I was like hella drunk, but I was still trying to like avoid the conflict.
moonshine drunk.
Moonshine
Not
drunk.
sure
Yeah.
what the moonshine is right there.
So I was like,
That's not a word.
yeah. So I'm like, oh well, you know, how am I being a dick, dude? And he's like, oh, you're being a dick to that girl. And so I turned and I looked at her. I'm like, am I being a dick to you? She said no. I was like, okay. I turned to the guy. I was like, look, dude, problem solved. It's all good. And he turns and looks at me and he goes, well, that girl is just a bitch. And it was like, you could hear the record like, so I like turn around and I push this dude back, and he runs up to me and he's like, you better have fucking friends, bro. And I was like, oh. I was like, I got fucking friends, bro. So I'm like, who's my friend? And all these people run up behind me, right? So we got like this mob of people.
It was
the guys
Stevenson,
like,
but we rolled deep.
we
with
rolled
like 8, 9, 10
yeah, there was
cars
like
almost.
100 people there, and there was like 50 of them were from Vancouver. And so then the dude's like, oh, I got fucking friends. Like, who's my friend? And so all these people run up behind him. It's literally Vancouver about to fight the entire town of Stevenson. Basically, that's what's happening.
Like gangs in New York.
Yeah, and so out of nowhere, this dude walks up. Like, I'm 6 foot, I'm not small.
Yeah.
This dude walks up, and it's the tallest person I've ever seen in my life. And he, like, walks up next to this dude, and it's just fucking pissed.
6'9".
Yeah, 6'9".
His name is
Yeah,
Gunner.
that's the
Gunner.
icing on the cake, because his name was Gunner, and he was wearing camo.
It's just so fitting.
It's just so my friend Bo runs up, who's the funniest part about this situation is Bo's like 5'1", and he runs right up into Gunner, and he's like, his face is like in his dick. He's just like, he's like ready to fight him. And so everybody's like getting close, and James walks up, and he's like, whoa, what's going on? I was like, James, this dude called your sister a bitch. And James was like, fuck no. Everybody's like almost about to be in this fight, and out of nowhere I see Bo go like this, pull a gun out and shove it in Gunner's dick. Like, just shove the gun in.
And he's like, no, wait,
And
he
then-
called your sister a bitch. Here you go, and handed it to me. And
Yeah.
I was like,
James was like, no, and hands it back to Bo. Bo just keeps the gun right in his dick. And you can see Gunner's face like turn white. And he just like looks down, he's like, yep, there's a gun in my dick. We should just, take this back a few notches. So somehow,
You guys, everyone ended up dipping, and
Everybody
I'm
and-
stuck there with all
Well,
this equipment.
you guys made me leave. You guys made me leave. I remember that.
I did not make you leave. You came up to me, you're like, I gotta leave before I kill somebody.
And
You got the
then-
equipment, and I was like, I think so. You dip out and didn't take anyone you came with. And I'm stuck with
Yeah.
extra people in a car full of equipment before we have a trailer. I'm lucky we got everyone home. I
But
was like,
then, when
fuck.
we're hooking around, I jumped out of the moving car because I ripped my shoe to try and fight Gunner, and you and James grabbed me and threw me back in the car. And so that was a crazy night.
What type of music do you say you guys play?
We play alternative, melodic rock with a reggae undertone.
very specific genre, right?
It's in the corner of your record store or something.
Tiny,
It's very, very
tiny.
small. Very small stuff.